There are a lot of shows in the world, and it's not every show that breeds like a scream and like a, ah! Like if you were to do that, I love that our show is like desperate for a scream and for just like unbounding, like boundless joy. And so when we get to the stage door, every single time we open the door and it's like, ah! And the other day we had like a group from Australia and they were so hype, and it's just, I don't know how to describe it, because it's just not to be taken for granted to like feel that the audience that is here is literally like here and they're here to scream for you.
What a fashion show. Look at this, right?
I mean, we do what we can.
You do what you can, totally. First of all, show everybody your nails. Look at their nails, all the queen. Look at this. I love this. So all of you have your nails done.
It's a job requirement.
Yeah.
What a fun job to have, right?
No, it totally is. And then they have to match our costumes, which makes me really happy because gold is my color.
I love that.
Makes my life easy because I have a little white, silver, neutral palette going on. So.
And your color?
Green nails all the time. 2 years running.
I've got the red here, which is nice for, there's some hearts happening. It's cute.
And I have pink, which I hated ever since forever. But now it's a choice now, forever.
And I have blue, but today it's actually just neutral and black because those are our neutrals. Silver, black, so I'm not really representing the blue. But.
Well, first of all, you are Broadway's newest queens in 6. Let's hear it for them.
Thank you.
How wonderful was it for the 6 of you to come to Broadway all at the same time?
It was kind of magical. I mean, it's our sisterhood, and the fact that I get to spend 2 Broadway debuts, and these 2 on the end have their Broadway debuts, and it's like I just spent a year and a half, 2 years, a year and a half. Oh God, it was so long.
It'll be 2 in
it'll be 2 next week
14th.
that we've spent together, and it feels magical. And to be all women of color is like another power move that we get to make, and so I'm grateful. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, you hear about shows bringing over a cast member or 2 from the touring companies, but the fact that they wanted to bring our entire cast together, and it just is truly a pinch me moment, and it really is validating that we feel this energy on stage, that we feel like it can't be replicated, and we know that we have something special, but for the team to experience that, for people in the audience to experience that and see like, no, like there's a chemistry that can't be replicated, and we want more audiences to experience this is really, I don't know, affirming.
You also get so close to one another when you get to travel the country together, and we have so many memories, shared experiences of nights in Chicago or in Miami together, living our life, and to be able to bring such an outside relationship to the stage night after night, it's just so special, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I remember we had just a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, to get the show back in shape to be on Broadway, and I was like, I didn't think that I would be nervous because we've done the show before, but I was so nervous. And so the fact that we were doing it together made it feel like there was one thing off my mind of like learning new chemistry and making new friends. Like at least I was able to have my nerves with my people and be like, okay, let's do it, and have the support.
And we would joke around with that, like comment of us like, do you imagine if we like do it on Broadway? Like we would like start off in Boston and be like, let's just imagine we're on Broadway right now. Let's just joke about it, and then we manifested it and it happened, which is wonderful.
Yeah, very, very wonderful, and just such a great environment to have my Broadway debut and also Didi's. But yeah, the nerves were very real. And yet to be with a group of women that I know so well, a show that I really know so well, and yet am making new discoveries, and a character that I love to play so much. It's just a dream come true. Really, thank you. Yeah. It's just a real dream come true, and that sounds cliche, but it really is, yeah.
Well, I want everybody to clap for them. This is their Broadway debut for Gabriela and Didi.
Thank you. Thanks.
So I'm going to ask you two first, what do you remember about that first performance at the Lena Horne Theater, making your Broadway debuts? Because they're magical. They only happen once. Yeah. What do you remember?
I remember my microphone did not stop moving because I was shaking so much. I was like, a lie. It was very, very terrifying because literally 12 years ago, I was 24 when I did the debut. Now I'm 25, yeah. So I was 24, and so 12 years before, I was 12, and that was my dream. I was 12 years old dreaming about being on Broadway, and to happen 12 years later, it was a really cool accomplishment, and hopefully I get to do it again.
Well.
Yeah, it was so special. With our show, we're able to break the fourth wall and look into the audience and interact with them, which makes the show so much fun. And every day is very different because no audience is the same. That's why I think we also love theater so much. But at the end, I sort of knew where my loved ones were sitting, but I didn't want to look during the show because I knew it would just do something to me. I don't know if I would giggle or cry or whatever. But at the end, we came to our last song, and I knew that we were there. The victory was there, and so I took that moment in of my parents and my loved ones, and they were crying, and I felt like I wanted to cry, and I just took a photograph of that moment because it was just as special that I was on that stage as they were out there sharing that moment with me, and it only comes once in a lifetime, and I'm just so glad that my parents were able to be there.
Yeah. Because the other four of you have done this before. So knowing that they were going to make their Broadway debuts, like, what did you say to them?
I don't know. I just wanted to make it as special as possible. Didi is my dressing room mate. And I just was like, you ready? You good? Like, just like hyping her up because I could see the nerves. She was so flushed in the room. And I was like, you got this. Like, you're doing it. You've manifested this for yourself. And I'm so proud of her. Like, just watching her whole journey for the past 2 years with this role, with this show, and in life. Like, that's my sister for life, and I just could not. I want to continue to just pour into her because she deserves everything. I was so happy for them, both of them, and I think I took a video of them right before we went on stage. I was like, "Y'all ready?" Like screaming at them, hyping them up, and they were just like,
I don't remember that. I think I blacked out. I don't remember that.
And also, though, like a Broadway debut in itself is such a huge accomplishment. But to debut on Broadway as a leading lady, it was just insane. We were major hype, major hype all around that Tuesday. We were all just full of joy, so much celebration.
Anybody?
Oh, I mean, it's so special, and like you said, I think for us it was our first time being a principal on Broadway, right? Yeah. So and that also is so special, like. To be a lead on Broadway? What are you talking about? Like, that's unbelievable. So actually, it is believable, and I'm so happy that we all got to share that moment together, for sure.
And Storm, what it was like for them that day?
Oh my gosh, that day was just so crazy. There's at the end of the show, towards the end of the show, I should say, during Didi's song, we all exit the stage, so we don't get to share the end of her song with her, but we can hear the audience erupt at the end. I remember taking in a moment of just like, I hope she's soaking it in. And then for Gabi's number, we are all right behind her on stage, and it's already just a electric moment to begin with. But I remember specifically that night of just like having this energy of like, do you see how they are receiving you? It was a moment of getting to watch someone exactly where they're supposed to be, where I have so many friends and family that have come and see the show that are just such big fans of you both, that are, when we found out that our company was going, it was less about like, Storm's back on Broadway, but more, people are gonna get to see Didi and Gabi make their debut, like these girls are so ready. So it really was just, I'm hoping you guys felt that energy of like, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And I remember just being proud mama in the back, like, go out, baby, you doing it. My baby's made it on Broadway. And we get to have that moment every single night. It's really special.
Well, you all started on the Aragon tour. How magical was that first performance for each of you? Lead role, taking on these roles on the road. Where was your first stop? Where did you all?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Okay. So take me back to that first performance.
Oh man, I'm not sure I'm the one to do this. Okay, can I?
Anybody can start.
Oh, was that?
It was that show. So we didn't.
show?
We actually did not perform the first show of six together as the six of us.
Yeah.
We had someone from Broadway come in and stand in because Olivia was under the weather, unfortunately, and it actually. So it didn't feel real until what? The week later, the week after.
Yeah, the first show.
The first show was quite awkward. It wasn't
there
awkward.
for opening
it was
night.
just- yeah.
It was the first preview.
But first preview, she was back, and so I'm going to talk about that night because it was the six of us. It was magical. I don't know. I feel like we were, I don't know, our energy was so electric. I don't know. This is what Didi said. My hand was shaking the whole time. My parents were in the audience somewhere, and it was like their 4th time seeing the preview. And it was, I mean, we were exhausted. we had been rehearsing all day, all morning, and then doing the show for like 2 weeks straight. So we were exhausted. But that opening night was magical. I don't know how, that's the only word I can put in, like, that's the only way I can say it.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I really have to commend alternates, understudies, swings, their work, because without their work, we would not have been able to put that show on, you know, without flying out from Broadway to Chicago to fill in with this new cast on their opening night. What pressure. And so just,
Kirsten Hodges.
Kirsten and our alternates continue to save the day all the time. But the opening night and just that whole run in Chicago was so special for me because that's my home city. So it's really full circle. Speaking of parents in the audience, they were there, I think, probably 14 times, I want to say they saw the show in Chicago alone. And yeah, I had old teachers in the audience, and that was a theater I had been to see productions before. And it was always a dream to perform in my city. I love my city so much, and so it was extra magical, and you can just imagine the tears that I was trying to keep down till the end because what a whirlwind of emotion. So amazing.
They had great pizza also.
Thank you. It's polarizing,
that pizza was
but
good.
Thank
And
you.
also, Chicago was our longest tour stop in that, including previews. We were there for 14 weeks. We were there for a third of the year, for over a quarter at least. And so for me, piggybacking off of Gabi calling Chicago home, for me, it's a second home because that's where I was born. It's not necessarily where I consider home to be because I grew up in Orlando, Florida, but all of my extended families in Chicago, I actually lived with my grandparents during that time of the tour. So like out in the suburbs, and I would commute to work every day. And it was really special. I moved away when I was so young, and so a lot of my aunts, uncles, cousins, they had never seen me perform. And so for them, the first time seeing me perform was in something so big and life-changing for me. Like they were watching my dreams come true, it was so special to be able to share that with my family.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, so we did a tech process in New Haven, and then we moved to Chicago, and the first preview was when I had COVID-19. This is like a cool, like, new thing. And so I was absolutely crushed. Like, what? I'm missing the first show together on stage with everybody. And so I just remember being in my room, like, sitting in this big white room alone, like just like crying. But it's so funny, especially like we then did the show for another year and a half. So like I did the show plenty. And I know
you never get sick.
Exactly.
What were the chances? You never get sick.
No, I'm kidding. It's fine. But all that to say, I remember when I finally did get on stage. Also, I was the first person in the company to get COVID. So for our company, it was like a really new thing. So it was a COVID debut. Thank you so much. And you would have thought that like I just had some huge surgery. Like everyone was like, Olivia, oh, I hope you're okay, and like giving me so much love. I was like, thank you.
We missed you.
No,
We
it was
missed
like
you so much.
it was also my birthday, and so they sent me a video for my birthday. It was like a whole thing. But the love that I felt from everyone was amazing. And then opening night in Chicago, which was like a week or so later, was incredible. It was like, I don't know. And also the Six team, like the marketing, the press, all of it, they do such a good job of making us feel like stars. So I just remember feeling like $1 million and just so special. Yeah, so thanks, Six.
Storm, opening night for you or that first performance on stage in Chicago?
I'm going to confess something. Something I remember is that opening number doing Ex-Wives. There's so much adrenaline, and I remember finishing and being so out of breath because we gave everything. I gave it all away in the first number, and we finished. The number's over. We're about to start opening chat, and one of my first lines is screaming to the audience, "How are you doing tonight?" And I had nothing left to give. We really had to find it from within. And I was like, we got a whole show left, and I think I might be done. fun. So it was a lesson that we have to preserve, and you can't get too excited. But it was, I learned a lot that opening night. I was just on a high. It was really, really exciting.
No, but it is like the biggest Broadway rock concert you're ever going to see. That is such a powerful opening that just goes through you, goes through the audience. I can only imagine what you're all feeling up there. Like I said, I got a whole show ahead of me to do.
The whole show ahead.
So what is it like living in the world of Six? There's nothing like this musical. There was nothing before. And talk about the brilliance of the show's creators, Tony Award winners Toby Marlowe and Lucy Moss.
I'll start. What's so wild about this show, right? The writers wrote this for an assignment for school. They didn't anticipate it becoming this global phenomenon that it is now. And so it blows. I wonder what they must be experiencing when they see it all over the world. I was fortunate enough this year, I went to Australia and went to the theater, and there were people standing outside the theater holding a Boleyn and Howard costume, just randomly for another show. And it really just showed the impact that this show has all over the world. And it really, I don't know, it makes me think about how this story is so universal. So many people are looking for moments in their life where they can feel seen, where they can feel celebrated. We're in this age where we are constantly bombarded by other people's stories, right? We have access to our phones, social media. We're constantly seeing people grabbing at the spotlight, and we need to be reminded, and it's a practice that we do when we come to the theater. You guys are doing it so graciously here, where we take a moment and we leave space for somebody else, and it doesn't diminish us by doing that. It actually empowers us because we can see a little piece of ourselves in that story. And the fact that all over this world people are yearning for that space just shows us where we are at this time, shows us that this has been going on throughout history, and I don't know, it just is really impactful to me. I think that the creators are so brilliant in the fact that it started out as this small project and took on this life that they couldn't have imagined is a testament to their brilliance.
Beautifully put, yeah.
I think, the fans of the show have been, for me, one of the best surprises, because there's just so much love and they get the message of support, and they get the message of lifting each other up. And so I love, people will dress head to toe in, I don't know if you're wearing red on purpose, but that's my queen color, and I'm legit so excited, and you're making me so happy right now. You know what I mean? I'm feeling we're sharing this experience of just something that we love and something that we can all attach to. And it's just like you were saying, to see something that you can see and say, oh, I feel that really impacts me. I love that feeling as an audience member, and I'm so happy to be giving that feeling to others every night on stage.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yes.
Right before we started rehearsals, this truly I had to take out from the depths of my brain, because I haven't thought about this in so long. But right before we started rehearsals, Toby Marlowe and Lucy Moss did a 54 Below concert right across the street, actually, from where we are right now. And I remember that was my first opportunity getting to meet them. They called me up to the green room afterwards, and I was starstruck because I was just so excited to meet the creators of this journey that I was about to embark on, not knowing how much it would change my life in the greatest of ways. And I remember talking to some of the current queens, the original queens on Broadway, the current queens at the time, the OG queens on Broadway, about what this experience was like for them. And it's just a testament. What they shared with me was a testament to how beautifully Toby and Lucy created this show, in that it's designed to give, you have your moment to shine, so you get to fluff your ego a little bit and have your little moment, but then the rest of the show, you support everybody else on stage. So you have your 5 minutes or 7 minutes in Didi's case to have your moment, but then the rest of the show functions as you are an ensemble member. We are an ensemble together of leading ladies. And so I just think it's so beautifully designed to let people step back and have this breath and not let it diminish your capacity to be a star in yourself, while also just it's giving the whole is greater than the sum of its parts type of thing. Yeah. So for sure.
We also break the fourth wall all the time.
Yeah.
And I love it. I absolutely adore being stupid and ridiculous and a fool. It's one of my favorite things to do in the whole wide world, to make a fool out of myself. It is my favorite thing on earth. And this character, this show lets me do it. And I remember opening night and the creators being like, Howard is funny. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I mean, you wrote it. Like, this is funny. This is great material. And they were like, no, but you're funny. And I was like, oh my God, thanks, that's very kind. So breaking the fourth wall and being able to communicate with the people, with the work itself, and seeing their reactions, seeing their faces when we say like crazy stuff. Like, for example, in my song, I say some crazy stuff. And I just see like the little girls go like, oh. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad they're getting it. You know what I mean? So it's a great, great show. It's brilliantly written. The music is insane. And you also get to be a part of the show, which is also something so cool that like they feel like they're on stage with us, which is so fun, so fun.
Yeah, I remember, oh my gosh, I'm also pulling this in the back of my brain. The first time that Toby and Lucy came to Tech, and we did our first run through for them. And and after the run through, they came close to the stage and they were like, so do you guys even really like each other? And we were like, we love each other. It was our first time like running through the show. Like, I think we were just a ball of nerves. And then they were like, yeah, because as soon as it ended, you guys like giggled and like you were all happy. But they were like, bring that to the stage. And I think the next performance, it clicked for us. And just having them there through almost that entire Tech process, I think we had them for a good 4 or 5 days. You just don't often get to work with the creators, the writers of the shows that you're on most of the time, especially being a touring company. We got to work with Toby and Lucy. We got to work with Carrie Ann, who's the original choreographer. And literally like the whole team from the start of this show. And I think that like played a part in how special this cast is and how special this process has been. And Toby and Lucy have truly been like a huge part of us understanding the text in a different way. And I appreciate them for allowing us to see the text in a different way, like saying Howard is funny. I had that same moment with them, of them being like, God, we've only seen Aragon played as like this stoic, mean, motherly figure. And I'm like, oh no, I read the script and I thought Aragon was quite crazy. She always interrupts people. Like she's very chaotic. And I was like, that's what I live to do. I love being chaotic on stage. And so I don't know, I think that Toby and Lucy have brought something so special even with this queendom and how diverse the queendom is through and through, because not only are all 6 women on stage, female identifying, I should say, for this cast, but we also have a full female band that they've come up with, which is like Beyonce inspired through and through. And you just don't see that. And the band is on stage with us, like them, just the small decisions that they made to make this show what it is and how diverse it is just freaking beautiful to watch. And yeah.
I want to piggyback off of that. It's also a testament of how well written this show is. The fact that you can have so many different types enter the show, so many different choices still work, it's because the script still functions, the jokes still land. When you can trust the material, the double entendres, the play on words are so brilliantly written that it works on its own, and you can add and sprinkle different nuances to it, and it doesn't make the piece fall apart. It's just a testament to how well written this show is.
And even the musical double entendres. I know people talk about Lin-Manuel Miranda and how he's like, you can pick this song and out of Hamilton, and it's this rap song, whereas there are some Destiny's Child references in this musical. There are some straight up Beyonce references. There are Adele references. Like, there are things that these pop queens have instilled in their brains that connect us to the audience, and it makes it easier for us to break that fourth wall.
It's so brilliantly structured, the way they did this. Olivia, you want to add something? Or?
I mean, it's so funny because the show runs at around like 85 minutes, 90 maybe. And so it's a one act. And oh my gosh, I remember the first time I saw this show, it's over in a flash and I was like, wait, no, 10 more songs. Like, you just want more. But it's, I love going to a show and it just flows and you don't have time to be like, gosh, where's the pop? Can we go to the... Like, you don't have time to sit back and be like...
Or go to the bathroom.
Right. And so it just flows... I know, right? Some people still do. It flows so well, and I think that's a testament to the way it, like, going into Aragon's number, we're, like, still singing, like, our group number, and then she's like, boom, it's my turn. And we're like, whoa. Like, it just really... It just hits. And I love being a part of a show like that, where I can see in the audience that, like, people are right there with me and they're ready to go.
Yeah. You all look sensational in your costumes, which were designed by Gabriela Slade, who has won numerous awards for these designs, including the Tony Award. What do you remember about the first time you saw yourselves all done up as your queen?
Aragon is a full body of armor. She comes from a family of Spanish warriors, and so it's literally a full body of armor. The costume weighs about 15 pounds, which I enjoy. I'm an athlete, so I love running around stage with weights on. It's my favorite part of the costume. And I'm also bald in real life, and so it was a lot of talk of, are we gonna let her be bald? Or are we gonna put her in a wig? Are we gonna let her wear a crown? Like, what are we gonna do? And I was so grateful for them to also work very deeply with me on a wig, making sure that I was comfortable with the texture as a Black woman, making sure that the hair is everything, and the costume sits so snug and so tight, and the tights, the 3 pairs of tights, which are also Beyonce inspired, of the studded tights with the fishnets, and then the boots, all the glitter. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the show, I was like, absolutely not. I am not a glitter girl. I don't like sparkles. I don't like things that shine. It's not my thing. I don't like to be flashy. And so when I put the costume on, that's all I saw was flash, but I felt so powerful, and I was so appreciative to the team for allowing me to stand in that power that I felt.
Fabulous. Storm, first time you saw yourself done up.
Oh my gosh. She did the costume design for the Spice Girls as well, and I'm a huge fan of the Spice Girls. So I truly, instantly was like, oh, I'm meant to be in a girl group. I am ready to go. It has always been one of my dreams of mine to be in a girl group. I thought I was a cheetah girl when I was younger. Thank you so much. And so it truly was like, oh, I'm geared up and ready to go to war. Yeah.
I feel like the use of the plastic and metal elements in a way, yes, the plastic starts to mold to your body and you get used to it, and we've definitely worn in our costumes for sure. Plastic also stretches, meaning you need alterations every so often, but there is a sense of that structure of the costume reflecting this internal power that we have, because Jane Seymour's outfit is this corset, and in many ways it doesn't allow for the most amount of movement possible, but it also allows me to elevate and feel so lifted and present and powerful, and like I'm taking up space in that way, because I can really feel myself taking up space in the corset. and so in that sense, it's so beautiful what Gabriela Slade has done with the materials incorporated in the costumes. Yeah.
No, before this show, I did Aladdin, and the costumes are different than they are in 6. And especially there's this one costume where I'm one of Jasmine's attendants, and it's this Princess Jasmine, and it's this long purpley, sparkly princess dress. So my past was giving princess sparkle dresses, and now I'm and it's like this hard, and there's edges and there's spikes, and I remember I was like, who is that? Is that me? And it took me a second to really embrace it, because it's just very different from what I normally was bringing to the table, and so it took me a second to adjust, and then wow, it clicked in, and I was like, I'm fierce, because like you said, it's one of those things where when you put it on, you have no choice but to fill it up, and so it was nice, especially my boots are above the knee, and it's just really awesome, and I'm glad that I finally was able to say, wait, you look incredible, own it.
I hated pink, like I mentioned earlier, but now I can't seem to stop wearing it. On my everyday casual day to day. And it's the ponytail for me. I love a ponytail. I also have the most minimal amount of clothes on stage, which I felt kind of weird about in the beginning. And I was like, I don't know about that one. But, and then I wore the costume for the first time, and then I wore the glitter, and then I wore the ponytail, and then the boots and the tights. And I saw myself in the mirror, and I said, okay, I am very cute. And so it made me, Howard has really taught me to embrace that sensuality and embrace that femininity that I have inside, deep down, very, very deep down, secretive. And it's made me learn a lot about myself, and that I look great in pink as well.
Yeah.
I still am trying to break up with her, but
Yeah, it was magical. I think it was my first experience having a head to toe custom look.
Yeah.
And that feels special. I mean, the shoes for our feet, mine are a little extra wide, okay, in case you all wanted to know. Fun fact. Well, the Italians, they make the shoes very narrow, and I love Italian shoes, but now I can wear them. And the costume is so great, and it's not every show that me as Gabriela I don't need to love the costume. That's not my job. That's not my role. That has nothing to do with really me doing my job. But this show is special because I happen to feel great in my costume. It is something I would choose to wear. And I love that I get to wear pants because I'm mostly a pants girl. I love a pair of pants. And I love a strong shoulder. And wow, what a special experience seeing a costume be built for you and your shape. So even though the costumes are the same with everyone who plays the characters, they're also not, because they'll take a look at, well, where does your torso sit? How wide should we make the peplum? Where should it sit on your body? Should we crop this? Should we do this? Yeah, how awesome. So as a fashion lover, to have a custom look, wow, dream come true.
But see, that's the brilliance of the creative team and the producers of Six.
Yeah.
Okay, let's discuss how strong and loyal the Six fan base is. Okay, so the Queendom, right? The Queendom. I know we have some Queendoms here in the house today. And watching, you must have had so many fans on the road and now here in New York. There must be so many stories. But what's one of your favorite fan moments? Anybody can start.
I would love to start. I am Puerto Rican, born and raised, 100%. Yo hablo español, yo soy de Puerto Rico. And so it is crazy to me that people will, no problem at all, see the show, clap, 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 this was great, love it, 10 out of 10, bows happen, and then they stand up and they get from the back of their pocket the biggest Puerto Rican flag they can find, and then they just tell the person next to them, can you hold the other end, please? It's too big. So they just hold it up like this and make me see it. And they're like, I'm here for you. You are amazing. I'm Puerto Rican too. And it's like the most Boricua. Vamos, vamos. Look at that. They're everywhere, I'm telling you. We're everywhere. And it's the most amazing, most fulfilling thing, and it just makes me so happy, and I could cry right now, but I'm not going to because I have mascara. But literally, it is one of the most beautiful things to just see that pride, that Latino pride, just not just Puerto Rican, but just Latino pride. We have 2 Latinas in the show, and it's really cool to see that pride and just be proud of our roots. And yeah, it's great to see. I love it. I love it a lot.
Beautiful. Who
And
wants to go
Coquito.
next?
Well, I tried to ask my Jacksonville people to bring like the Jaguars flag, but they haven't shown up in the same way. Duval. No, it really, honestly, like Didi, it makes me cry every time when I see it. Like I'm like, oh, it's so special because
And
like,
sometimes I miss them too, and then you're like,
we're like,
wait, look, Didi, look!
yeah, like it's so unbelievable. And I mean, I think there are a lot of shows in the world, and it's not every show that breeds like a scream and like like if you were to do that at if you were to do that at I don't know, some really sad show, right? It's like, I love that our show is like desperate for a scream and for just like boundless joy. And so when we get to the stage door, every single time we open the door and it's like, And the other day we had like a group from Australia, and they were so hype. And it's just, I don't know how to describe it, because it's just not to be taken for granted to like feel that the audience that is here is literally like here, and they're here to scream for you. Like, what?
They also listen a lot. Like, they know what we like as people. Not just as like, they don't see us just as the queens. They see our socials, and they're like really on top of their game with their stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, she likes Grogu. She likes Star Wars. I'm gonna get her a Grogu little action figure next time I see her. And I got one for my birthday. So it was like from someone I don't even know. And that to me is like, for everyone, I feel it's like, that's crazy how you can inspire someone just by doing what you love to do. Because they love it. They love to see it. So, and they're just very detallista. How do you say that?
Yes.
They're just like, they really, they pay attention to detail. Yes.
Go ahead, Jazzy.
Our company had a very unique opportunity to film a Tiny Desk concert during our time in Washington, D.C. And that has expanded our ability to connect with people across the globe as well. And as I hope this panel gets to do too. And it's one of my favorite experiences. I connected with a member of the Queendom during our time in Chicago. He saw the show a numerous amount of times, probably 5 or 6 times or so. And he was on vacation in Europe, maybe Germany. I don't exactly know where it was, but this was a few months after we had left Chicago, obviously being in September or so when the Tiny Desk was released. And he's walking down the streets of this European city, and all of a sudden he hears the Tiny Desk concert being played, and he runs over and he says, I saw them perform. And he actually he DM'd me a photo of the person listening to the Tiny Desk concert holding the phone, and him, and it's just crazy that, like, without even knowing the connections that we make across the globe, we have such a connection to people globally, which is just so special, and it makes the world feel smaller in a beautiful way.
I think mine would have to be at the end of their show here on Broadway, which I love. The ushers will find little girls that are close into the aisles, and we'll have like little baby mosh pits in the aisles. And I fully and thoroughly enjoy it because I'm on the end of the stage, and so they're right in front of me. And just to see in their eyes, like, wow, I can do that. They see themselves in us. That for me is just so special. And so I just enjoy all of those little interactions with those little girls, because they are living their best lives out here, and we are too up on stage. And so it's just glorious to see their eyes just light up. That's my favorite.
I love it.
One of my favorite things, I've heard the story from multiple people at the stage door. This album found them during quarantine. There wasn't a lot of theater that was being made. There wasn't a lot of albums that were being made that were theater albums. And this show closed right before it was supposed to open the day that Broadway closed down. And so a lot of people started listening to this album over the time when we were all locked in our homes, and now people are finally like, I've been waiting for years to come and see this show, I can finally come and see it. And it just is a reminder, as we all are connecting together and gathering to the theaters again, that in that era when we all were locked up, we turned to music, we turned to the arts, we turned to books, we turned to just like ways that we can feel connected with each other. And it's just such a human thing to want to gather and to feel each other's energy in these spaces. And a lot of times at the stage door, people are constantly apologizing for, oh, sorry, I'm taking a long time with my playbill, or sorry, I'm getting my camera together for this picture. And I have to remind them in a very Boleyn fashion of, sorry, not sorry. We don't apologize for taking up space. This is a pleasure to get to spend this time and connect with the energy that I just got to be a part of for the last 90 minutes. I am choosing to engage with you in this moment, and you do not have to apologize for taking up the space that you deserve to take up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having that presence. And I think that's my favorite interactions that I've been having.
Oh yeah, I mean, I echo everything.
Yeah.
You guys, it's just my colleagues are just the most well-spoken, but yeah, I echo everything. I've been able to have just wonderful stage door interactions. One time in Boston, I was taking the tea, and somebody recognized me from the show and said hi in front of me and my friends, and that made me feel really cool. I was like, yeah, all sorts of interactions. Somebody photoshopped a par costume onto a raccoon. I really like raccoons and strange creatures, and so that was one of my favorites. I think it's wearing a crown and has a microphone. So, all sorts of wonderful, wonderful interactions, and that's still in my home. It's one of my favorite things. Is
The attention to detail.
exactly.
My final question is, what has made being a part of Six so special for each of you?
I mean, I think I said it at the top of this discussion, is that what makes it so special for me is that we are all women of color. And so these young women in the audience, or these young kids in the audience, come see the show and they see us. They get to see themselves in us. And for me, that is just the representation. It really matters. And I think that Six has done such a beautiful job across the board in all of their companies of making this show diverse, not only on stage, but off stage, in the booth, in the wings, stage management team, the band. Like, it is such a diverse show through and through. And I think that's what makes it special about being a part of this show. And I get to be with my sisters for another.
I think for me, I've become such a huge fan of you ladies. And so no matter, we've been doing this for almost 2 years now, and a lot of life has happened in those 2 years. So no matter what state I'm coming into at work that day, I get to heal through your songs. And there's, like Jasmine said earlier, there's so many moments after our particular song is over, we get to sit back and be in the ensemble of each other's numbers and support. And every day there's a new moment, and there's a new piece, and there's a new lyric that one of you will say that will really resonate with me, and it helps me stay present in my life. It helps me stay present on stage with you, and it helps me, I'm healing through y'all's incredible performances, because you're so good at what you do that I hope it makes me a little bit better, but it at least for Storm, it helps Storm feel a little bit better every day, getting to come into that space where today we're gonna step into some female empowerment and a little bit of excellence, because that's what these girls are serving. And no matter what state I'm at, I'm gonna get to rise with them. And that's a gift to get to do every single day.
This is gonna be broken record over here, but these women that I get to share the stage with night after night, as well as our incredible alternates that both from the Ergon Company on tour, as well as the Broadway Company, I've never had sisters. So this group is, to have a group of women who are so secure in what they bring to the table and who they are, just come in with love and support, no matter where we're at, whether we're happy, sad, yada, 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 we still come together knowing that we have each other's backs. And I've never experienced that with a group as consistently as I have with this group of people. And so that is most definitely my favorite part of this experience. And I know that this will be a lifelong sisterhood that we have together.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I love thinking about the fact that when you first meet people, like, you have no idea maybe the impact they're going to have on your life. And so when I think about that audition room, and like, I can like still picture everybody, and now we're sitting here at this panel, like, just like on Broadway as leads, like, it's absolutely incredible. And I hope I make it to like 92 and I'm like, well, I was on the Broadway, and yet your Aunt Didi was, she was right there with me. She had the pink on. She loves pink. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're at a moment, we're in the present moment, and these are memories that are gonna be our remember whens, hopefully when we, make it another 89 years.
Six has taught me to be very much unapologetic and to not be afraid of making really bold choices. And I'm so much more sure about myself because of this show, and also because of this group of amazing stars. And I'm gonna be so honest right now. It's already been 2 months?
Yes.
2 months on Broadway. And the thing is, like, we don't know how long this will be lasting for us. And that's just in general, like, as a career, we don't know when this is going to come back. I don't know if I'm ever going to be on Broadway again. And to just have to share this experience with people who care so much about me and about others in the company, I'm so privileged and I'm so grateful. And just I would have never thought that I would have been a part of such an amazing group of people. And so talented and so unique and so wonderful and so humble. Just wonderful, wonderful women. And I can't wait to do the reunion when we're 90. Yes. And we're 90 years old and we're singing six, very flat and just not right and trembling. Mics are gonna shake because we're old, and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna wear pink. So. Yes.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, echoing what everyone said about this great group. On top of that, speaking to fellow actors and performers and industry members in the room, I would say 99.9% of people who want to do what we do have to go through hardship for it. It's not just like this. So we know when success comes along, we know the other side of it. So to be making a living in the arts, that's it. I will never take that for granted, because I know what it feels like to want to do it so bad and not know if it'll really happen, and have the doubts and have the little voice, and even maybe other people are using their voice to tell you that this is not the way, or you shouldn't be doing it, or it's not, whatever. There's all this stuff that we go through to do what we love, which is what I'm doing right now. And so to be making a living in the arts is incredible, a privilege, a dream come true, so great. And yeah, like Didi said, these moments, they don't last forever. So I am cherishing that I am having a moment, and it's just very, very special, because there are a lot of people that would want to be in our position, and I am really, really, really grateful for it, just soaking up every moment.
Well, I want to thank you for the most glorious afternoon, sitting here with the Queens of Six. Remember, March 6th is the sing-along performance, and March 9th is a 1,000 performance. Let's hear it for the Queens of Six.